Welcome back to Copper Star Precision. Today we're going over the August 2022 NRL22 Course of Fire Strategies, Tips, and Tricks. So if you're liking these videos, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's just jump right into it. The first stage in the pamphlet is called Thunder Down Under, 120-second par time, round count of 10. We have two targets, a 2-inch at 65 yards, 3-inch at 85 yards. I always write the target size converted into mils here. Just gives you an idea of how big the targets are relative to each other. Helps with wind colds, helps with holdovers, all that stuff. So let's take a look at the course description. Scroll down here, looks like we have a tank trap. On the start signal, the shooter will engage the targets in the following manner and order. Any leg of the tank trap, far target 3 shots, any tipped, near target 2 shots, a different leg, far target 3, different tip, near target 2. So far, near, leg tip, leg tip. Note, when shooting from the legs below the center, no rear support equipment may be used to support the rifle. So no bags, but we can use something, we can make a fist, we can use our hands. We're definitely going to want to support the back of the rifle for elevation control. So we'll talk about how that looks at the range in a little bit. I always write my dope down here. Obviously dope can change based on the environmentals of the day, but it just gives me a little sanity check so I can check my notes and make sure I'm not using the right or the wrong rifle profile or anything like that. So strategy wise for here, I'm going to set my parallax in between the two targets and I'm going to dial for each position. I'm not going to dial and set parallax for each position. I think these targets are close enough that if you set your parallax somewhere in between, you'll have a decently in focus view of each target. But I am going to dial for both. You could hold over on this stage. I think you'll have time to dial. It's only 10 rounds, so I'll do that. Pretty straightforward. Tank trap is a very common thing used in many courses, either in the NRL world or the PRS world, so you should be familiar with it, but we're going to talk about some tips and tricks on the leg portion and some special gear you might be able to use to help you get an advantage. So let's head out to the range and check out what that looks like. Alright, we're at the range, stage 1, Thunder Down Under. We're going to go 3 shots far, 2 shots near, 3 shots far, 2 shots near, leg tip, leg tip. As far as the tips go, I think it's pretty standard. You have a bag like this, balance the rifle, use this hand engaging the stock of the rifle and the bag into your shoulder, nice straight legs, good platform. You don't want to be bending your knees because then the gun gets really wobbly because you're using your muscles to support the position. You want to use as much bone on bone, so kind of lock these legs out. I think this is an extremely stable and pretty standard position. We see the tank trap come up in a lot of matches. But when it comes to the legs, which we don't always shoot off of, and the extra special no rear support gear for this stage, having something like this is the Armageddon Gear pint size sticky game changer. A normal, even a wax canvas, has a tendency to slide. It's not gonna stay unless it catches on somewhere. Having this makes it so that wherever I stick this, it's gonna stay. So I'm gonna use this. So when I start the stage, I'll have the rifle and the bag in hand, and I'm gonna use the same bag for the tip here, so it makes it easy, just one piece of gear for the stage. I'm gonna come down, try not to knock the bag off. Get a nice purchase there. And even with the weight of the rifle, notice how the bag is not slipping downwards. I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna use my hand, kind of make a fist. This is my rear support. It's not support equipment, it's just my hand. I'm gonna engage 3 rounds, just like that. And we're gonna move to the tips. So, from there to the tips. Now what if you don't have this bag? Well, let's see what other gear we have. We got, you might be able to get away with a big bag, pump pillow that just sits on the ground so it won't slide. Just make sure that you're engaged somewhere between the bag. You have to be touching this. So that could be one option. Another option could be to use your bipod. You can take your bipod and you can push into the barricade just like this in a similar fashion. So I'm pushing, and as long as I'm keeping enough pressure forward with my shoulder, it won't slip like that. but you just have to make sure that you're putting enough pressure on to engage those shots. This bipod I have has a barricade stop on the back. So what I might even do is put it ahead of the tank trap and pull it towards me. And this is actually even more stable. So I'm using the 3 non-trigger fingers of my shooting hand to pull in the gun like so. So you just have to be careful when you do this and you let go to actuate the bolt, that you have some rearward pressure. I can use this left hand to also pull kind of the buttstock into my shoulder. So I can engage here, engage here, engage here. If you don't want to use a bipod at all, we can do that. And what we might do here is maybe take a seated position. Simply rest the rifle here. We're going to take our hand, kind of cradle the stock. And we should be able to get high enough where a seated position might be comfortable. Maybe cross our legs out in front like this. And although this isn't ideal, you know, if you don't want to use the bipod method or the bag method, this should get you by. So here I'm really gripping the gun with like a little claw, and I'm using my other fingers to brace myself against the leg of the tank trap and engaging with 3 shots. So lots of different options. We got bag, sticky bag on here. If you have a bigger bag, maybe put it down there. If your rifle can get low, if you have a big enough bag that you can get your rifle up here. Bipod, we can push the bipod into the prop. We can use the barricade stop on the back of the bipod to pull into the prop. And if all else fails, we can just use our hand here to engage the targets. So hopefully that gives you some ideas on how to approach this stage. I think the tips are pretty familiar to a lot of people. I think it's the legs that are going to give people problems. So as long as you're just cognizant of, you know, your ability and what gear you have, you should be able to come up with a solution to shoot off the legs. So, and on this stage, I'm going to dial for all the targets. So I'll have the rifle dialed for the far targets to begin with. 3 shots, get up here, redial, and I'm going to have my parallax set in between the 2 targets. I don't want to be dialing and messing with parallax for every of the 4 positions, because then that way I'll save a little time. So if this helped give you some ideas and helped you get more points at the match, let me know in the comments. And while you're there, please like, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Lots more videos and lots more tips and tricks coming soon. And until then, score more points.